Okay. So, I've been debating on whether I wanted to do this, and let me know if you can hear the music, because I'm trying to make sure you can't. I was debating on last night if I wanted to do a live react to this, and then I was getting to the point where I was like, today, just meh. I didn't feel like it until I saw a little bit of information that came out on Twitter, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking do a live react. Because it's supposedly supply drops are coming back to Akkad, even though we thought we got away from them after World War II. So I figured I'd do a live react, have Treyarch's stream up and the chat so we can see if they get their ass roasted. You don't hear music? Okay, good, because I have it muted at the moment because they're playing music. This is gonna be good. So I figured, why not go ahead and do this? Also, I'm using XSplit and I'm not using OPS, but for some reason on XSplit, it always makes me look way different, like compared to like OBS. I feel like I look way fucking different, right? Anyway, I always point that out. Maybe it's better with taking in lighting. A roasting session. We're gonna have some fun with this. This is gonna be interesting. So I figured why not just do this? Cause it looks like the zombies people aren't gonna be getting a map this month. It says, because they put out a roadmap of that zombies are going to be coming in March. So, interesting. I figured like we do a live roast. Why not? I also I do plan on streaming a bit longer today. Like, I'm going to do this, let it go up, and then I'm going to go and we're going to do some multiplayer. We're going to do some blackout as the pre-big update stream. And then, yeah. What do I mean? What do you mean, what do I mean? I mean, they're supposedly bringing back supply drops, renaming them cases. I think they saw how well it was doing in fucking Apex Legends, so they decided to bring it back. Where is this live? YouTube.com/Treyarch. I thought it was on their Twitch. Apparently not. I didn't even know they had their own YouTube channel. I just watched. Looks like we're getting a... Yeah, I know. They're putting... It's kind of like how Seraph had her gun in Blackout. They're going to put Outlander... Outriders Bo. She's gonna be in there too. So yeah. I had like everything I had up and ready to go was for Twitch. But alas, here we are. Well, I mean, I always want a good bow and arrow. Like, I know it's stupid, but if they put in a good bow and arrow and a blackout, I'm gonna be fucking around with it. If it's a one-hit kill, I hope so. Like, if it's like a crossbow, but I want it to be difficult to use. I want it to be kind of like a tomahawk, right? Because the tomahawk you throw and it's a one-hit kill. I want to be able to shoot my bow and let it be a one-hit kill. If that makes any sense. Like, I want it to be a projectile. But I want it to be able to go very far, too. I don't want it to be like I want it to go far. So, that's what I'm hoping for. Boop. It's either use it and one-hit kill people will just camp with it. I essentially I want it to be the tomahawk physics, but with a bow. Sam, if that makes any sense. Hello, Faded. Looks like notifications just went out. Mm-hmm. But I want it. Also, looks like they're putting in a cop car, or an SUV, they're putting in like a charger / vehicle. You know, I think they missed out on the perfect opportunity. They should have put out the replacer's car. I'm gonna tweet that out because I feel like that's special. Instead, they gave us some black and gold little shit when they should have given us the replacer's car. Why? It's only 5. Yeah, okay, yeah. Fuck you. Alright. We got 3 seconds and I'm gonna unmute. Let me know if y'all can or cannot hear the audio, okay? Here we go. Alright, some more music. It's more music. I'm killing it. You can't hear it. Well, I just muted it again. Did you audio? Okay, here we go. Let me know if you can. You should be able to hear it now. Why is my audio freaking out? This is the trailer, by the way. This music I know for a fact is fucking copyrighted. I'm muting that. So, like I said, they missed out on the opportunity. This car should have been the replacer's car. Yeah, I love the song too, but I'm not getting hit by a copyright claim because of this shit. Outrider. Yeah. I wonder if we'll have the witch. Can y'all still hear the audio from that? I muted the video audio. If y'all can still hear it, that sucks. Yeah, this reminds me of Battlefield Hardline. Okay, you can't hear it. Good. I thought Casino was a remake of Hotel for a second because part of the map, this part of the map, looks exactly like it's straight out of Hotel. Like, almost one for one feels like it's made right out of a hotel. No sound now, good, because I don't want this music to hit. Once this ends, I'll... Yeah, this is straight out of Battlefield Hard. That map even looks like... The... Sub JC. And there was a DLC event that some YouTubers went out to. I could see off Twitter. I wasn't one of them. Guerrilla Warfare comes to Blackout, oh boy. There's one character skin that I'm going to want coming up. Where is she at? Where's Misty? Alright, here we go.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm John Raffis, and welcome to Treyarch on this gorgeous President's Day. What you just saw was the new trailer for Operation 3 Grand Heist. Kicks off tomorrow first on PlayStation 4. And
what time, though? I don't want to be up at midnight.
I'm here with the original Motley crew. Dan Bunting, Tony Flame, Matt Schrantz. We're going to dive into
so
this operation, guys. Thanks for
Matt and Tony, I think, are the multiplayer.
Dial it back down from an 11.
Dan
right.
Bunting's okay.
It is Monday. All right, Dan, one, two.
Is that not loud enough?
If you could, last day of Operation 2, heading into Operation 3 Grand Heist tomorrow.
Operation 2 lasted way too fucking long.
Colors.
It was what, 90 days?
Remind us about the season structure. Tell us what is to come, and
would
how
love
the team's
to.
Been working on it.
So as you said, today is the last day of season 2. So get out there and
that's as loud as it goes, chat.
Because tomorrow it all kicks off with Operation 3 Grand Heist, and this is our biggest operation yet. This is something that the team has been working on really hard.
They only need to last
the
45 days at max.
To bring this to the fans.
70 days is too much.
It is the beginning of the season tomorrow.
Okay.
That means that there is a ton of content and events planned throughout the season. So
okay, when you say
sure that
throughout the season, so that means it's not a dump.
This is the beginning.
That means it's coming out in
pieces.
pieces.
A lot of stuff you see in the trailer that we just watched is going to be available from day one. Some of it's going to be come throughout the season. Some of it's going to come a little bit later. Some of it's going to
okay, so in other words, we need a huge overhaul, and
they're
they're giving it to us in small chunks to make it seem
across multiplayer, blackout, and zombies.
Well,
that's disappointing.
For anybody that wants to sort of take a little
that's
bit
really
of a
disappointing.
Dive, we just released a blog post that has a roadmap for
they did put out a roadmap, by the way.
So you get a bit of a feel for sort of generally what is coming when, but also get a good feel for
blackout.
The fact that,
all of that needs to be immediately. Multiplayer, we need the maps immediately.
That's right. 6 operations planned throughout the year.
6
and
operations.
Those are up on the blog post, as you mentioned. Of course,
hey Google, 365 divided by 6.
Kind of walk our fans through the series of events
that are
going to happen this week. Tomorrow, is the big update.
Dude,
Of
that's
course,
each operation's gonna
multiplayer,
last at least 60 days. Damn it.
Outriders.
That is way too long.
Is a fan favorite specialist from Black Ops 3. I think a lot of people have been asking for Outrider.
A lot of people have been asking for a new specialist playlist, you
done
tits.
some overhauls to her mechanics. Of course, the Sparrow is a favorite. I mean, that's like one of the most rewarding weapons that we've probably ever released in the game.
Yeah.
And we've made it even better.
But
this
her
time around.
equipment's
One of the
a
big
hawk.
changes you're going to notice with the Sparrow is that it performs just as good when firing from the hip as it does when ADS. The benefit that ADS gets you is you get to get zoomed in.
More
for,
explosives and
longer range
multiplayer
combat.
to blow
But
everybody
that
up.
just makes it
Great.
feel like it's just
Now
much
you can
more satisfying,
accurately
rewarding,
hit
and
fire
more
and blow
flexible. You
people
can
up.
use in all different situations. Her Hawk is the new piece of equipment that she has, and that's a little mini drone.
Well, the chat. This
so
is
Hawk
their
and
chat.
Sparrow
This
are
isn't
her
my
two
chat. That's
items.
their chat.
The Hawk you can fly.
This is when they're
park in
talking.
a
This is
location,
live.
and it will automatically tag any enemies that walk through that camera's field of view from wherever you've left it parked.
We also see
So
the party
the
games.
Black Ops 1
That's
camera
right, one in the chamber.
is
First one tomorrow,
is Outriders.
which I'm sure Matt will go
equipment?
into in a little bit more detail. That's one of our favorite modes from Black Ops 1, and when we did the party games back then. Kick that off. It's a very different way to play. It's kind of like a mix between slower and tactical and fast-paced sometimes and chaotic. It gets pretty crazy, those tense moments when you're one-on-one with somebody who you don't know if they have a pistol, if they have a bullet or not in their chamber.
Oh, one in the chamber.
And
Yeah,
then, of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
there's a series of others
But
that
it's
are
not
that are
wager
planned
matches,
throughout
so I
the
don't
season,
give a
which you
shit.
can find on the blog. And
Do we wager
yeah,
paint
it's really exciting.
cans?
That's going to kick off tomorrow.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, where's Fondahar?
we've still got plenty to talk about in the Operation 3 front. There's still a pretty large tuning pass for tomorrow as well, which we
Multiplayer.
want to get into.
Mainly.
Now, just to kind of, I mean, what are we forgetting? It's like we've got a couple new weapons coming tomorrow as well.
3 new
Yeah,
weapons.
we've got some new weapons coming. We've got
Auto
the
shotty.
Rampage full auto shotgun, which is a lot of fun.
Yep.
We haven't had a full auto shotgun in this game yet, so
Despite us
play
having the
testing it, It's
brekkie.
always a tough weapon to get right, but it's so satisfying to use, and we think it's in a great
This
spot for
part of the
balance,
map
so we're
reminds
really
me
excited to
of
get that thing.
Hotel
It's got
from
its own
Black Ops
unique set
1
of attachments,
DLC.
just like all the other guns. So it indexes
I bet
a
you,
little bit
yeah,
more
there's
on
two.
handling
There's a lane that I bet you goes up
it's
to a
got more
high ground. I bet you if you go to the right
traditional
side, there's a little
mechanic where you
pathway
wanna
to
get
wrap
more
around. I
pellets on target
guarantee
in
it.
order to maximize damage, so your accuracy is actually going to come into effect more than with some of the other shotguns we have.
And then there's the Switchblade.
Yeah, we got the Switchblade, which is a really fun SMG. It actually folds into kind of like a briefcase.
Okay,
sort
so
of shape and
yeah,
back again, so it fits
Outriders
in
equipment
with the
is just the
height
Black
scheme.
Ops 1
because of its folding,
plannable camera,
nature,
but as a
modular nature,
quadcopter.
It's more of a lightweight SMG, so it's very fast handling, fast to reload.
Great.
It fits in actually to some of the balance changes that we've done to make sure that there's kind of that it has a little bit of room
It's
for
the
it. There's
Spaz
room to
12 from Black
get
Ops
some of the
1
other
just made
guns
fully
to
auto.
Focus on their core strengths and make some more room for the
Oh,
new
man.
Switchblade. So it's going to have its own place within the SMG class. That's getting
Korean
that balance
Savage in the
pass,
chat.
as part of this operation as well.
And I mean, so especially whenever you get into, you know, other locations like casino.
Yeah, people who play
and
S&D are going to be pissed.
Of Grand Heist, we've got a new melee weapon as well that fits right into the mix.
That's
Yay,
right.
new
Grab the
melee
cash, grab the
weapon.
money bag, and then
Woo.
smack players in the face with it. There's a money bag melee weapon, so we're just thinking of ways to have fun with the operation. New melee weapon, and that is
Ways to
new melee
have
weapon.
fun.
It's a bag
Won't
of
give us
cash,
no
you smack
specialist
people with
mosh
it,
pit.
A couple coins might fall out. So it's a lot of fun just to run around the map with that thing.
You know,
Cha-ching or
for the next operation, maybe we could live stream that creative brainstorm, sort of like how.
You don't want to see that.
Yeah, and then let us in the chat tell you what you
how we
should
get to
not
that
do.
one. Anything else that we want to cover on the multiplayer front before we dive into tuning pass?
No specialist mosh pit.
Well, one thing we kind of breezed over, but there's two brand new maps that are
one
coming
gives
with
a
this
shit.
operation to multiplayer.
The first two
One
DLC
is
maps were
called Lockup,
garbage.
The other one is called Casino, and Lockup is set in an LAPD kind of.
Reminds me of Detroit all of a
police
sudden.
headquarters. It's been assaulted.
From Advanced Warfare.
The bad guys are trying to steal the
Little
evidence
bit.
in one of their.
Actually, no, this
cases
reminds me of a
against them,
Combat
the fiction
Arms
behind
map.
it. And then, of course, Casino is, as its name would imply,
That's the new
a
SMG, by the way.
Based
So-
in.
Just explain that.
36
right on,
rounds.
okay. Right on. Okay, got it.
Reminds me of a
and it's
P90.
Based in Monaco, so it's kind of got that European flair, very ornate, very opulent kind of old world sort of casino building with Formula 1 racing happening all around it. So it's pretty
Sounds
awesome.
like
These two
from that
maps are very
Star
different.
Wars movie.
If you look at the difference between the two, Lockup really is about verticality, rooftops,
It's a reskin
fighting
P90,
high-low,
essentially,
up
with
and
less
down,
ammo.
through some winding passageways.
Well, we're going to jump in with Miles here pretty soon.
Okay.
He's
Giving you the overview.
Yeah, exactly. So,
One
yes.
So one more thing, just I don't know if we made the point or not, but the operation is going to be going on for like
couple months, yeah.
Couple
God
It's gonna be
damn
going
it.
from March and into April as well.
So what that means for us is just there's going to be more things coming throughout.
In other words,
the
we're gonna be
operation, right. There's a lot of
bored
stuff
of it
dropping
in,
right
like,
here at the
3
start.
weeks.
And then of course we've got more. That, we can't say what those things are or whatever, but just
Sure, we'll have plenty of teasers.
There's a lot coming.
I'll say it.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right. Well, then let's jump into tuning pass stuff.
No specialist.
In addition to
Mosh
Operation
pit.
3, there's plenty of updates planned for tomorrow. We will have some stuff to talk about a little bit later on the blackout front with multiplayer. What's in store?
Well, so we put the balance changes that we're doing out actually on Friday, so they're out there. Some people may have seen them,
Okay,
may not.
so they put out
you
the
can
patch
check out
notes,
the
but they
Reddit
haven't
blog post to
actually
see that.
updated
Of
the
course,
game
we'll go
until
over at a higher
tomorrow.
level here rather than going through every single change. But really, the way we've actually for weapon balance, from how we look at it.
No, it's the
analytics
spaz
and
from
data,
Black Ops
it's actually
1
the
full
best
auto
it's
chasing.
been in a game at this time in the past few months. So we've been a little bit hands off, but at the same time, we want to freshen
Hands
the game
off.
up.
A little bit hands off.
Little
bit?
has been talking about. And
Have you tried
expansion.
not doing
And
a
really,
damn
this game,
thing
we're
for
taking
500,
more of an
Alex?
approach of a community focused, more focused on the community feedback than just kind of data driven.
Yeah.
And we want to hear what people have to say. We want to hear what their take on the various
Watch the
issues of
comments.
the game are.
Watch the
And that's
comments.
been actually really successful and
Perfectly
great to,
balanced
get all the
VSAT.
feedback from the community. So we've been reaching out a lot, and so that helped inform on kind of not just like what we do exactly, but how we
Kyoko
do it,
don't.
or just get an extra
Kyoko don't.
on this pass.
Has the community of fans had much feedback?
There goes VSAT, VSAT,
Yeah, well,
VSAT,
it's
VSAT,
great.
VSAT,
You know,
VSAT.
it's more data, really, like
Yeah.
every single. But we get to read it individually, and kind of there's sometimes a little bit of detail that's hidden can actually be a gem of insight. You never know where it might come from. So one thing that we heard a lot of, number one, was the Titan. That was the number one piece of feedback we got. People,
Really? Not
people love using the Titan
VSAT or no specialist
as
mosh
far as
pit?
our
You heard the
player base
Titan.
goes. There's people aren't quite happy with where it's at right now. So we're going to make some adjustments to that.
Really?
Titan kind of where its players' expectation is for it, and we're doing that by a couple
The
different.
chat is just VSAT
different ways.
nonstop.
Really, it's about making it feel fair in a heads-up gunfight, so you feel like you have a good chance against it. And also, some players have, we've had the issue of
I can't.
taking down score streaks a little too quickly, so we're taking down its ability to do that a little bit. Still going to be strong. We want to keep the core feel of it. That's important of it, right?
Absolutely.
That the guns still feel powerful. So the Titan was kind of the first one from the community perspective, and it matched up what we were seeing. So that was an easy one to knock out.
If I'm not mistaken, there were a couple, and this kind of gets us into sort of the competitive feature set. There were a couple updates.
No one
made,
gives a shit about
to
competitive
weapons,
custom matches. No one
that,
gives a shit.
Sort of, we wanted to make sure that we got out in front of this week's CW.
We're talking about
action as
multiplayer right
well.
now.
And it's probably worth mentioning as we kind of head into these updates that League Play goes live on Thursday.
No one gives a shit about League
So-
Play. You announced it in May. It's 5 months, 4 or 5
Yeah,
months
League
too
Play's
late. You
going
should have had it
live.
on launch.
So SOG 9, what else is?
So I mean, this will affect now talking about assault rifles and SMGs kind of as a class, right?
Yeah.
Because it all kind of ties in together. That's
Yeah,
gonna
they're
affect
completely ignoring
majority
the
of players right there
biggest
between those two classes.
part
So
about
we
it.
really wanted to get the balance right within those classes. We like how many there's about.
So now they're
43
talking about,
or
I guess,
so,
how they're
ARs,
nerfing
SMGs.
things
We like
based
that
off
balance.
what
That
the
feel good
competitive
for
custom
players.
match
But
scene
within the
wants.
class, we're seeing like too many
Great.
Spitfires, right, or too many SOGs. And then
Yeah,
on
how
the
about instead
AR
of
side,
nerfing
Maddoxes.
guns that are
And
good,
when we
buff
also
the
see
bad
that
ones?
mirrored in the public match and the
Crazy
competitive fight,
concept,
That's when it's a sign
you know?
that there might be a problem there. We feel like we're really getting it right when the pros are using different guns.
Gives
than
a
are popular in
shit
the pubs, 'cause that
about
means
the
those are
competitive
skill-based
custom
guns.
match
So that's where we
players.
like
They're
to
not
be.
the majority. They're
And we
the
see that with
fucking
some of those,
minority.
like ICR,
They're
for example,
tiny.
is really popular with the pros. So when it comes to that, we took that pass to balance across those classes, and there was an opportunity.
Really?
there as
There's
well
only
to
one
address
perk
some
allowed
feedback
in
that was coming straight from the
competitive?
pros, specifically on the SOG. So
Look how much
pros are
shit
so
is
good
banned.
that they can notice when the speed gets a little bit too fast for when it starts to mess with their gun mechanics. And the SOGs actually
They
have that
literally
issue.
modified
Movement
the
speed,
classes
with
in
stock
League.
movement speed, and we're getting direct feedback. So there's a whole loop of things that the pros know more about there. And we wanted to address that. So we took down the speeds of the SOG down to a reasonable amount for an SMG. Actually, as a gun, it was faster than all the other SMGs, which was something we were toying with this archetype. It doesn't need that in order to be good. So we're going to bring that
Can
back
I just-
down. That's
where's
also
my
gonna help
remote?
with the overall
Skip.
pacing of
Don't
the
give a
game
shit.
for competitive
Skip.
and pubs.
Like-
so that's really mainly the SOG was mainly about its
You should
speed.
balance the
Other than
game
that,
for the
it's gonna
majority
play
of
very
players,
much
not
the
some
same.
shitty whiny ass
So when we
community
take
who
the
bans
SOG
shit
down a
every
little bit, we have to
fucking
think
game.
about the
Like,
next gun that
the
all
majority
pros
is what
and
needs
players
to
are
get
gravitating
fixed.
towards, which is the Maddox. that gun's kind of been sucking players in towards it over time. We're seeing more and more
I don't like the
players
Maddox.
towards
It's
it.
shit.
So in order to
I'll
stem
use the
that
Rampart, the
off, make sure that
ICR.
it doesn't become a one-gun meta in the
SWAT.
pro or the public scene. We want to take the Maddox down a little bit and as well elevate some of the other assault rifles. So hopefully what we see is some better pacing, getting that tighter gunplay across the board, and then more
When you
guns
start
that are
modifying the
relevant
game for the
in,
minority,
competitive
that's when
and
the
public.
majority suffer.
All right.
Here we are.
We've got Miles in a pre-recorded segment kind of walking us through casino and
But I guess
lockout
since
in
Activision
greater
owns
detail.
MLG, they're trying to force it to make more
Before we kick it off to
money.
Miles, is there anything else that you guys wanted to cover, particularly on the MP front?
I mean, I can touch on the just kind of additional tuning with score streaks.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
I
You're
don't wanna
buffing
say
them.
that
They're weak as shit. They need a buff.
FMJ2 was preventing devastating score streaks, but we came to an agreement. I mean, it's a good point.
Yeah, the Thresher is
Tony, Kevin, and
number one
myself,
devastating score
Kind
streak.
of looked at very specific. What is FMJ2 doing to certain vehicles? So we've
Melting
increased some
them.
vehicle health, like the strafe run,
You
for
know,
example.
you ruined
on
devastating
the strafe
score
run
streaks when
again,
you added zero. And the
still wasn't
ability
quite
to
hitting our
take them from
targets,
people and destroying them like
so
that.
We're doing a big buff pass more than anything for the score streaks. We made the cost adjustments.
You need to reduce them down out of the ass since
so
zero
we're still just
exists.
fine tuning the score streaks, and I think a big one for the score streaks that I've seen some positive
VSAT.
feedback on was that score streak kills in modes with friendly fire, hardcore, your Pro Series mosh pit. Those won't actually contribute towards.
I
the
wonder if this
control
is
kick limit.
pre-recorded. I don't
There's,
know
a
if
lot
this
of
is
times
actually
you're afraid
live.
to call in a strafe run in hardcore because it could potentially get you kicked.
I mean, look at the chat.
So
They just.
we're,
That seems like every third comment is just
we've kinda
VSAT,
held
VSAT,
sacred to
VSAT,
that,
VSAT,
and you know
VSAT.
what? We're gonna make a change.
we don't
there,
have
and-
VSAT.
and so you're not gonna get kicked with score streak kills after tomorrow. There may be some additional, punishments needed there if it becomes a problem, but we're gonna put that out and see
Yeah, I
how
know,
that
because
goes.
I
So,
fired one AC-130
overall, just
round in
a
one
few-
hardcore game
few
and got
buffs here
kicked
and there for
immediately.
Score streaks. So
Wish we didn't have to use streaks. Well, Chuck, go play Counter-Strike Go if you don't
On
like
the
streaks in
specialist side
Call
as
of
well,
Duty.
we got a few changes coming in. Consistent feedback we've been getting, things we've been feeling here in the studio. Some of the specialist abilities that are getting more and more play. That there's not enough counterplay there.
You know,
So
we've
we're
been saying no
focusing on making
specialist
sure
mosh
that
pit,
you can
but you're
counter the
ignoring
abilities
that.
that are frustrating you. So 9-bang, we got a couple new ways to fight against that. You can change stances. You can see a little bit better through it. You won't put the tactical mask.
This
will be
is-
more effective counter.
He's just ignoring
Super
everything
drone,
that we've
getting very
been
popular.
wanting.
That's gonna if you shoot that thing with a shot, you're gonna be able to take it out. Thing's small enough.
We don't want it to exist in the first place.
In play testing, so it feels like there is a proper counter. So that's one of the changes too. And of
I look
course, we have
pissed because
Outrider
they're
coming in, who's
obviously
really gonna mix up the
ignoring
whole
all of
specialist
what the
meta.
community
So we gotta
actually
see how
wants,
she
and they're
comes
just
in, where
bouncing
cards
around it
fall.
and acting like it's not a thing.
She's just been a lot of fun to develop. She's kind of actually been easy to develop because she's just been really fun right out of the gate. We just make tweaks and everyone's
We're not.
enjoying
There's
playing
no
with
way
her.
they're
And
going
I
to give us
think
it.
the
It's just this
secret
is
to that
evidence.
that not only is the Sparrow super satisfying to use, it's got a scope on it now. You can get a long range, you get that zoom, and it's just overall more polished and smooth than it's been before. But her Hawk drone is so satisfying to use. You get to.
So can I,
you really
when I
get a
throw it
different
and hit somebody in the
gameplay flow and
face, can I
pace
say "suck my
to
hawk"?
Throw out your drone. Fly
That's
it
about
around,
the
pilot
fun
it
I'll
to
get
just
out of
wherever
it.
you want, which, based on the game mode or the map or your play style, you can use it differently depending on any of those.
Yeah.
And not only that, but
They're
you can
literally
put it
making the
and
game
now
they
the
wanna
enemies
make,
actually have a really interesting way
refusing
that
to
you
do
can
what the
interact
people
with that.
want.
It's super satisfying to see an Outrider flying her camera around and you shoot it out of the sky, right? So there's some good back and forth there. She's fun to
Anthony,
play.
I've read your
She's
comment
also
4
just
times.
as fun
Bare
to play
bones
against.
means no streak. If it's a throwback to previous CODs, it's no streaks, no nothing. Just gun. And I
again,
want
just
streaks.
to
I don't want
reiterate,
specialists. That's
we've
all I
got
want.
the-
I want no specialist.
Operation 3 that has gone live this morning on Treyarch.com. You can find it there with the
Why did the-
roadmap for the entire operation. Unfortunately, our producer Miles Leslie was not able to join us today, but we did have a chance to catch up with him the other day.
I mean,
and
how
we
hard
were
is it
able
to give us
take
the
a
VSAT?
segment
How hard
for
is it to
him
give us a no
talk
specialist
through
mosh pit?
Casino
Like-
and lockup, the two multiplayer
Apparently it's
maps
really
that we get with
friggin' hard.
with Operation 3 and the Black Ops Pass. And with that, we'll throw it back over
Modern
to
Warfare 4 is the
Miles.
next COD.
Miles, thank you for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time to talk
Yeah,
to
this
us
is all
about
pre-recorded.
multiplayer maps coming in Operation 3. As people watch this, it'll be coming out tomorrow on
I don't know why
Tuesday.
they're doing this live. It's
High level, what's coming in Grand Heist?
This is
There's a
pre-recorded.
lot of content, so with the MP map specifically, we've got.
So they're
two
not
brand
reading
new
chat, they're not
resources
reading
that we're
everything.
super
This is-
excited to talk about.
This is just a video.
Lockup and then casino, and then all of the different weapons and the war zone, the blackout changes.
They could have just
that we got
released
coming
these
out.
as
There's
videos
just
on the
a lot
channel.
going on in the Grand Heist, and what we really try to do with the operations and Grand Heist, and with the previous.
I honestly believe the reason we're not getting VSAT and more streaks and stuff like that is because Specialist is overloading the console hardware. And this is a video I'll probably need to make. But the reason why Zombies was crashing so much is because they would do certain things that would overload the RAM and cause a system crash. I'm thinking that they have shoved so much shit into multiplayer, Specialist being a huge part, that if they wanted to add in something like a VSAT or other streaks, it would overload the hardware and you would never be able to play. Kind of like what Raps did in Black Ops 3 in Ground War, or like Zombies was doing at the beginning of the game before they patched it all. I think that's the major issue. It's not. I'm starting to think that they don't want to give it to us, rather than they can't actually because the system, like, the engine is so bad. It couldn't.
It really started from this idea of. So we talk about verticality, and we've had verticality in maps, and even if you go to like
verticality in maps, the thing we fucking hated for 3 years.
We really wanted to get high to low, consistent fighting. Give you examples. We wanted the team to have to own a roof, right? We wanted to have the king of the hill. We've never kind of done that before, and this idea started to just kind of flow as like, hey, this police station could work where. You know, bad guys have taken over. They've attacked the police station.
This is giving me the vibes from Advanced Warfare when they gave us the map that was like 4 stories tall. It was just fucking
the hook of that really is getting on the roof and the verticality to and from it. Switching to Casino, which is
in other words, if you're rocking Ruin with the grapple, you're golden.
Verticality. The main thing is that the entire center of the map is one continuous open space. So it feels super grand and epic. The map is.
I guarantee it doesn't feel super grand and epic.
And the rooms
guarantee it.
Very different because there's a lot of long range. But
can't wait to wait 5 minutes to get put into the map because nobody buys the season pass these days.
Well, I know the team has, been really kind of exploring a lot of different types of gameplay, introducing some new game modes.
I think so. Old
Pink game modes really kind of inspired sort of design and the look and feel of some of these maps.
Yeah, it's interesting because we know objective gameplay is going to focus, right? And TDM is super popular, so. We always start with TDM as just like general flow and engagements. Without having to go anywhere, am I going to want to go find you?
Oh, that's why we always get spawned in the ass.
Sit here? Is that okay? Is that not okay? So we start with TDM, as the base game mode, and then get the kind of foundation down.
He looks like a knockoff version of Skylar from Heroes.
Anchor the middle, right, where that ends up. Because not always it is in the middle.
Blackout is the best thing, but it's also a half-assed thing as well.
And then you start
the servers are just... I don't know if it's just because less people are playing, but the servers and the connections are just dropping out the ass.
And that's come through if we talk about lockup is, we tried a lot of different dom spots specifically, and it's in the middle, right? So you've got this roof basically, and there's...
In other words, no one's ever going to capture B because a couple jackasses will be sitting on the roof with machine guns waiting for your dumb ass to get close to the center.
And it feels like it's once you actually take the B flag, it's like a sense of accomplishment that I think other B flags...
Sense of pride and accomplishment!
Trying to push that is like
ripping off EA. Good job.
We did it, right? Like, we did it, right? Like, hey...
Nobody's going to touch it. You'll have one jackass touch it.
And the spawn beacon back over
and that's it. When everybody else is just like, yeah, we want to extend the game. Or they just won't play the map.
Well, I think you've started getting into my next question. It's like, if I'm a fan of Treyarch map design, like what are you showing me? What are you giving me that I haven't gotten before?
Yeah, for sure. So, we always start with our 3-lane base design, and that's the foundation.
Yeah.
We know that that's a jumping off.
That
with every new
desert
DLC
map in the DLC.
So this verticality and
3 lanes
is really, really different. Is you really need to take the roof to be successful. And it's the central building, and there's lots of ways up, and there's other roofs that shoot to it as well.
You're going to have people camping the ladders. If you get one asshole who gets on the roof with Ruin's grapple, he's going to camp B. No one's going to move. It's going to be a camp fest. People are just going to leave this map.
Attack the police station overall and just cause destruction. But the gameplay is really interesting because a lot of the side lanes have a lot of opportunities for longer range, or you can try to be sneaky as well and use the verticality to take down the dudes on the roof.
Not going to happen unless people chuck explosives.
Elements with the roof is it's a one-way drop. So if you drop into the building, you can't get back up unless you're ruined. So there's a commitment there that we kind of haven't had.
In other words,
like if I go down,
people are going to be leaving the game with this map because one person takes Ruin and nobody wants to play it then.
Leaving the power position, but it's also a cool bail because you get that like blockbuster movie moment where you're like, hey, I got to get out of here, and you're jumping out of the window, right? So there's some cool stuff there.
Nice. Well, there's some surprises in store with Casino too.
Yes.
The other day we were kind of talking about some of the maps.
I love how they added pre-recorded to this, by the way.
Been involved.
Like, you see, I called it. This was a video, and then they added that shit.
All right.
No, there are lots of, I want to be clear, lots of people work on these.
I was joking. I was joking. But like, I mean, you've seen some maps.
I've seen some maps.
And
yes.
Casino's got some new twists and turns.
It does. This I can
Guarantee
say is,
what they did was take Hotel, the one backside, cut it in half, and then altered around it.
Been involved with the team.
I guarantee that's what happened.
Casino's actually the hardest map I can say I've ever made, and we went through a lot of iterations.
Just look how it comes out the front and the base and everything. Yeah, this looks exactly like half of Hotel.
Challenge ourselves, and even with the, you talk about
even the inside
can be as a foundation. Is
oh,
how do we make it
I wonder what they
very different, and we wanted a
maybe they took
map,
Hotel, took out the entire center section and just went shmoosh.
The lanes aren't
because this reminds me of Hotel. I know liked Black Ops 1.
All one central. We're showing it now, so. There's one central, lane.
Even this half circle. Oh god.
3 lanes basically, and we've given you ways as you head down through these slot machines in the central bar and some of this stuff right here, and weaving your way towards this bar that you can hold down, and then move into some of these side rooms that have some of the more like roulette tables and poker tables and stuff like that. But
balloons.
It's really large. And
dude,
basically on each side of the middle lane is like it's long range here, or you can.
Can we play the slots? I mean, well, supply drops are coming back, so if they're already gonna have gambling, you might as well be able to, yeah.
In and out of short and long.
Yeah.
And the ranges are really long. It's very different.
It looks literally like they took Hotel, cut the center out with
smoosh. Trying to really embellish the environment and use those elements has been like slot machines, right? They're not built to be used as cover, right? And set up good engagements or. Craps tables or roulette tables is like, how do you use it?
Address zombies and multiplayer.
Justice to the casino element.
Make blackout
so
free to
really
play.
Try to find the right way to do that, and that took a lot of challenge to nail down. Is I think we rebooted this map like 3 times basically, where it was like, okay, this has got something, and then it just wasn't enough. Okay, let's redo, just redo, and that's what we do. But this one has been very difficult, but. All in all, we're super proud of this one, and the team is really resounded to where we're like constantly pushing those, like, it's not good enough, we got to do more, and it's like, okay, let's tackle that challenge. Anyway.
Yeah. Not really sure why I didn't get the memo, but I mean, when it comes to
nobody's gonna want to play it.
I mean,
nobody has a season pass.
All right. So, I mean, just kind of as we kind of wrap it up. High level, like
please wrap it up.
What people take away from Lock Up and
More
Casino.
bad game designers.
The main thing there is I hope people, when they dive in, really get the sense of how different these maps are. Right? Is from the outside and looking.
That's because it's all pre-recorded random.
Standard map in that sense, but there's so many little. Twists and turns and different experiences that you can have that it's really going
They're trying hard to sell the pass. And I'm just sitting here saying, never buy the pass. I regret it.
Play differently.
I don't even play zombies.
That's the main thing
I haven't played multiplayer since January 3rd.
You could play a lot of the maps how you want to.
It's a waste.
Right? Like, I'm a creature of habit. I love my creative class. I love my setup. And, you could do that in these maps and be successful. But if you learn the environment and you learn the engagements and you learn some of these really different things we've got and start changing your play style and using the different weapons and equipment, you're going to be even more.
So guys, what you want to do is get a machine gun and camp the head glitches. And don't. TDMs will end at 10 minutes with only 35 kills on each team.
Right? Is like, oh, this is casino. Let me have this loadout. Oh, this is lockup. Let me have this. That's the main thing. Is this feeling of it's very different, but it still obviously feels very Treyarch and Black Ops 4 overall.
Nice.
Yeah, Black Ops 4 overall.
Thank you very much.
Complete half-ass pile of shit, and they ain't listening to the community.
That segment with Miles may have been pre-recorded, but right now I am here live and in the flesh.
Live.
Okay,
Live.
Zombies, dude.
Jason and Craig.
Kind of want to be watching
up
Mr. Waffles now to see how he's reacting to this shit, but okay.
All right, so for zombies, in
I still want to do all the zombie Easter eggs, by the way.
Experience coming in March, which we'll get to in a moment, but we've got some. We've got the named reveal.
Especially the Mob of the Dead. Blood of the Dead.
We've got some stuff for today.
Some stuff.
So
it might be an idea to kind of recap a little bit where we're up to.
I like where you're going. It's like you're in my head thinking my thoughts. Go with that.
See that?
I think
that was me transmitting.
if any community is getting close to what they want,
obviously,
it's the
with,
zombies community. It seems like
because
they got their gauntlets just took
we've
forever.
ever had at this stage, so it's been really funny that we had our 2 Chaos maps at launch and our 2 Ether maps, and then we had the Dead of the Night, which is a little bit.
You
of
try
a
to say we
cleanser,
have
but now
more
it's
content,
time
but
to
both,
announce
Mob
after
of
all
the
the
Dead
craziness that the characters went through
and
in
5 are
Void,
essentially
Lord
remap
Despair,
modified.
and 9,
Come on now.
They are now going to be going somewhere else, and that is going to be the focus of our next map. Now, what's fun about this is
still the
with all
chaos.
those launch maps, things were a little bit crazy for the characters and the
on.
community, but now those guys know what's going on a little bit more, so they are going somewhere new, somewhere they're already on the journey to, and people have seen the outros will have an idea about this. We're going to Greece, and we are specifically going to Delphi. Delphi! What do you know about Delphi?
In other words,
Jason?
all the gods. There's going to be a map for every god's location.
Plenty more facts like that coming up.
It's called expert knowledge.
But
it's kind of obvious
now
at
that
this
people and the
point.
characters understand the rules of the Chaos story a little bit more, we're going to do something interesting here, because we are actually going to be visiting a world where a
I think if anything, it
trial
might be half
has been
recorded,
running
half live.
for a
So they play the
very,
recorded
very,
stuff
very
to
long
swap the
time,
seeds
because
out
as some
and
people
people.
discover, Sentinel trials tend to end when they are completed or when everybody dies. So in our new level, there are some other characters knocking about.
Yes.
And you're going to have to find out about them and
Other new characters.
what role they play and why this trial is continuing and where it's ultimately going to lead them.
Because all our previous maps...
Are they going to tie in the
saw
Aether
trials.
people?
Yeah.
So this is the first one where this trial's been running, as Craig said, for a very long time.
All right. So, in addition to we teased the key art this morning.
Because that's the
We've
only way
got
I'll give a shit about the
images of
Chaos
that
people
that
if it
Tommy can
ties
throw up,
into
but we
the
also
Aether
have a
story.
name.
There we
There we go,
go.
lovely.
Boom. Ancient Evil.
Ancient Evil.
Ancient Evil.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Why do I feel like this looks like the damn mummy?
Ancient means
We were like, how do we hint to the audience?
Or is it going to be a
Solid
Spartan
Jason.
soldier? Greece,
Ancient
Spartan.
Evil.
Is that in the area?
So, yeah,
I think it is.
This one is it's the kind of map that I really like, where
Oh, yeah,
there's a
they're
lot
avoiding
of
chat.
events and characters and significant story shifts within the map. I mean,
Yeah.
back
Look at
to
the
what
chat.
we're
They're
talking
saying
about
no
before,
chaos. We want Aether.
There's some
Aether
things
maps.
hanging over
It's
our
kinda
characters if you
obvious.
saw the outros.
Like, we want more of Richtofen and
Voyage
the
of
Boys,
Despair
not
and Nine.
knockoff
And all
versions.
of those things will come into play.
In a different
people have been-
universe.
they've been under the influence of drugs, but some of them, as players will know, are also under the influence of some other forces, and all of that is going to come to bear in Ancient Evil.
So, tell me,
care.
I believe that there's a little bit of news that you wanted to share in terms of sort of the twisting and turning of the storyline and sort of where it's headed.
Yeah, so this map represents the last map of the Chaos story for this season.
Good.
So
Jason, where are you
That
going
means the
with
rest
this?
of them are going to be
What
Aether.
could it mean?
So this is the cliffhanger
No,
here.
Maybe a step too far, but it's cool. That's just
He can go higher in pitch if he tries.
Last of the chaos for
so
this
This is,
I
the
the wrong pants
this is the last one of the Chaos story for this season.
for this season.
for the season.
So the next two, so going into our DLC 3 and DLC 4, will be back to the Aether story.
Good.
It's one of those things. You know how
Fucking
Jason
good.
and I
Because you know
often
it's
say we
not
like to
selling
have
the
our
pass for you
content.
doing people we
It's
don't care
nice
about.
The fact that we're going to have a kind of nice even split, 4 and 4,
Yep.
between Aether and Chaos.
Don't care about chaos.
Yeah, we like our cake and eat it, and a
Yes.
small cake factory on the side
And
as
a
well.
second cake.
Yeah.
all right. So there's all of that cake coming in March.
Yes.
That's all I
but
care
that
about is
doesn't
Richtofen and the
necessarily mean that
boys.
There aren't any updates. Double negative. Sorry. There are updates coming tomorrow. When
Cupcakes.
we got some updates.
What is
coming
this
tomorrow.
about? This
we
is
just
the
finished
update
our
that's
beta
dropping
things,
tomorrow.
DEFCON
They're
5,
talking about
go.
it.
DEFCON 5,
Gauntlet.
new gauntlet for Classified, and then we also have a new gauntlet for Blood of the Dead as well, which is Helcatraz.
Helcatraz.
Interesting little story there. Helcatraz was actually the dev name of Mob of the Dead when we first made it. way back
Okay.
when. So we thought as a
Interesting.
little homage, we would
And a match
call
to
it.
ourselves.
Yeah, there's actually a picture of sitting around the office that says Helcatraz that we mocked up when we were thinking of Mob of the Dead in the very beginning. So there we go.
I mean, there's some footage.
Yeah,
on here
good
of
thing you
the
named it
gauntlets.
Mob of the Dead, because
I-
Helcatraz
One
is
of the
just
things that
rather
appeals to
bleh.
me about the gauntlets, and I think I've made no mistake about not being a particularly good player. I'm not as bad as sometimes we've said. But the fun thing about the gauntlets is Jason's nodding.
Whoa,
that's
the
not
Bowie
true.
knife had a camo.
The fun
Or
thing
his
about the
knife had a
gauntlets is
camo.
It does let people experience some of the features.
Did
and
anybody
bosses
just see
and
that?
enemies
He
and stuff
meleeed and the knife had a
that
camo.
they normally wouldn't get to in the
It looked
course
like it
of,
was glowing from Blood of the
amateur
Dead.
play, shall
Like
we say.
the
So,
pack
you
of
know,
punch, I
it can
think.
really help educate you about a level as well. So that's one of the
Or is
things
that
I
because he
like
drank a
about gauntlets.
perk that
And
does
it's,
that?
you know, so when we first put gauntlets out, we didn't know how
Couldn't
much
tell
we
you.
received, and we got an overwhelming kind of positive response in terms of people like mixing.
Yeah,
up
I
the
think
gameplay. So
Zombies is the
we've been
one
listening to
getting
that
what
feedback,
they
so we've changed
want,
some of our
really.
rules or adapted
In the grand scheme of things, they're getting kind of what they want, whereas multiplayer and blackout people are just being told to go fuck themselves.
But yeah, it's great.
At least that's how
it's
it
really
feels.
good for kind of beginners because it'll teach you about a level. You know, hey, tell you about a shield, tell you about certain weapons and usage.
All these
But it's also
questions
good for
they've
advanced players
pre-selected
'cause
for
it
themselves.
tests you in different ways as you get further up, and obviously it's same as last time, which is
What's the quality
3
of
sets
this?
of.
Why is it
10 levels
360? It
to
should
get
be
all-
1086.
to get all the way through a gauntlet.
We've also got the Ethereal Razor perk coming tomorrow.
Yes.
Ethereal Razor
Great
perk.
name.
Yeah. Literally hours were spent on that name.
So that was the melee they
yeah,
did then?
I'll leave it for the community to discover, but essentially it's a perk which has a buff to your knife or to your melee weapon, and it allows you to gain health when attacking.
So vampiric.
I also believe that you've got.
I just wish they
plans
would
to support
care
some
about
of
the
your
other
weapons
communities,
and,
like
throwing
zombies.
Some additional tier
It'd be
skips
nice.
along the way.
Yeah, so let's start with tier skip. So tier skip.
I'm waiting on the
currently,
blackout
if
information,
you
to be
play
honest,
around
because multiplayer's
15
been a
on
letdown,
daily
as per
basis, you
usual.
get Tier skip.
All right, we're
now
not
in
getting
its
what we
next
want.
update,
Let's
daily
go to
recordings
blackout,
will
see what's
also,
up.
give you that tier skip, so there'll be 2 tier skips possible per day.
It'd be nice if they came out and
That's a
said,
mouthful.
"We're giving you 60 hertz servers now too." So what have they revealed? 2 multiplayer maps, 3 weapons, new specialists,
So
and signature weapons.
and they're
as well,
talking about
right?
zombies now.
Shortly, we will have.
So far,
Dan
nothing you probably would
Vonderhaar
care
and
about.
Matt Schrontz on to talk all things blackout. And we've got a
Pre-recorded for
video that we
Vonderhaar.
want to share with anyone. What would you guys like to? Anything that you'd like to wrap up on with any updates tomorrow? Anything about what is to come between now and March? And if not, what are we going to watch?
So I'll
More things coming.
More things
coming.
Yes, more
Always.
things going. I think we've got blogs and other things kind of that'll.
They have a
I don't wanna
subreddit they
spill all the
post
beans right now. So I'll leave that alone.
Sure.
But the video coming up is our director's music video that we always do for Dead of the Night.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which is
oh, shit.
fun as
I like the director of music
It's a
videos,
cast and
but only
just
for the
some
ether.
of the ideas.
I just don't care
It's one of my favorite
about
ones to play. I like following ghosts around. Which
the
is why I watch
chaos. I
it.
really don't.
There we
We've
go.
spent
There we
building
go.
up since
So yeah, it's kind
World
of
at War, those Aether
full
storyline.
rock and roll.
Like, we should
All
be
right,
getting more of that.
outstanding. Well, then on that note, we will throw it to Dead of the Night.
Okay. So is this when they're going to switch people out then? I think it is. Oh, no, music! How to mute it. I'm not fighting fucking music. By the way, the director's things are post Easter egg completions and stuff, so nothing gets spoiled. They release it later on. I do like Alina. Is it Alina Sigmund? Sigmund? The one thing I didn't understand about when they transform into zombies is if the zombies get killed, why do they transform back? Like, when a normal person gets killed by a zombie, they're dead, right? The song is nice, but I'm not getting copyright claimed or striked. I ain't fucking with that. I don't fuck with music on YouTube. I turn it off in games as soon as I can. This is the director's cut music video. They're just right now trying to get Vonderhaar in for his live section. Because he's the blackout lead. Yeah. The most content we've seen any COD. Yeah, by now in World War II we've had shit ton of stuff added. Where's J-Traps? You've yet to see that? What? Oh. They're looking for a boost seat. Oh, man. This seems to suck. They're adding, like, nothing. Yeah. Kyoko, there has been a black guy in Zombies. It was in transit. In the Aether storyline. There'll be some decent blackout. Oh, the map's getting like a 20% overhaul. Did he bring him? He shot him and then brought him back to life? Is that what just happened? Also, I find it hilarious that some of the people's wonder weapons are staves. That Zombies community just wanted to come back. The staves from Origins. They're playing the full-blown song. How much longer until COD players turn away? Go ahead and tomorrow you're gonna want to take notes on Twitch and YouTube for the amount of viewers watching it, and we'll see how fast it falls off. Italian striker with the €2. Don't know. It's not gonna pop up on stream, my man, because I'm on XSplit and have nothing set up. But thank you for the €2. I appreciate that. Hopefully you stay warm. I know it's cold as shit right now. So he was being controlled. I don't think he did that by choice. I think he was being controlled. So I think what happened was the order came up, shot him, resurrected him, and is now controlling him, a la Game of Thrones zombie guy. But thank you for the €2. Appreciate it, my man. Oh, God. Here we go. Not in a hurry. You've been taking a lot of time, asshole.
About what all encompasses all the changes that got made to the merit system in general. So first up, you are going to be able to prestige in blackout. There is a healthy dose of the population that's sitting at 80 star, wondering what
been there next. Since October. Check
and there's a lot of folks who are not there. So there's a big chasm and gap between the folks sitting at the top and the folks not. So for the folks sitting at the top, you're going to be able to prestige. It's the 10 levels of prestige, but it's also more than that because the Paragon levels make their way into blackout. So you're going to be able to play forever.
Paragon levels?
On top of that, though, let's talk about the folks that
His
are not
voice
quite
is
there.
raspy
The guys
as
sitting
shit.
at 35 and 45 and feeling like it's hard to advance. So this was a design decision
Hard to
that we
advance
made
because
pretty
they're
early
not
on
playing.
to
All
only
you have to
reward
do is
plays
play.
and placements at the high end because that's the core of that mode. But we're loosening that up so that there'll be more placements kind of below that. So for example, in quads it's pretty much the same. The top 50% of the players will be able to advance. But solo players and duo players gets lots of love right now because those players, that 50% of them will now also be able to advance, get merits for placement. So we sort of push the placements down.
It's okay, kids, if you're bad. We'll give you shit
Maybe
anyway.
Even more importantly than that, which is a little harder to understand, sort of if you just look at it, is the blackout merit system has everything multiplied by 10. And what that lets us do is create more merits to give out in more situations to more people more of the time. If you only give out one merit for something, it's hard to give out a half a merit for something. So 1 becomes 10, and 100 becomes 1,000, right? And that kind of system change allows us to do other things.
Let me use all the
especially in
merits
other
I've
kinds of game
banked
modes
over the
where
past
we can
4
give away
months
more
to just
merits
run through
for different types of
prestiges.
activities related to that featured playlist. So those are the 3 major changes going on there in the nutshell version.
Nutshell
One of the
version.
things that
I'm happy about more merits. It's hard.
One of the things that Dan talked about at the front end is that all of the content that was illustrated in the roadmap that we shared this morning isn't necessarily available on day one. A great example of that is Hot Pursuit, new game mode coming within Blackout, and that's coming out on Friday.
Yep, Friday.
Hot Pursuit. What do we need to know?
Go play Battlefield Hardline to play it.
Nice.
No, it's so it's a super fun game mode. You know,
He's getting really red.
The past game modes, close quarters frenzy, ambush.
He is
has been,
very
you know,
gray in the
a variant.
head.
You know, it's still very slow. The gameplay is still there from Blackout, but with this, we kind of want to say, we said, how can we have more fun? How can we fit
Blitz.
the theme of this
Game mode.
Cops and Robbers, Operation Grand Heist?
Cops and Robbers, because that worked so much for Battlefield.
And they're going to be highlighted in Hot Pursuit. First up is are the police vehicles. We've got the police SUV, we've got the PBR boat, and then we've got some other vehicles that the players already used, and those are going to have police skins in Hot Pursuit. And when you hop into a police vehicle, whether it be an SUV or an ATV or PBR, you're going to have some inherent benefits that are going to feed into that game mode. So
I'm
police
not
vehicles,
playing that. I'll play it for a one-off video.
Fucking.
Fucking.
That's one of those things where from the early days of Blackout, we saw players shooting their vehicle with us.
Works so well it killed Visceral Games.
Let's build that in for this game mode. It makes perfect sense. So when you're cruising around in a police vehicle with your sirens on, you're going to get the benefit of a sensor dart. So you're going to be able to move through and kind of root out the bad guys. On top of that,
we already put sensor dart on vehicles. Foxy's been doing it for a month now.
That's what we call risk reward, John. So
if
you can stick a sensor dart to an ATV, they can hear you coming. That's your risk, and you can see them. That's the reward.
So in addition to that, the police vehicles will also see enemy muscle cars marked. So that marking is going to be a red beam shooting up from the sky, which is super cool. You hop into a police vehicle and you just look around and you're going to see all these bad guys marked by the beams. You want to go chase those guys. The muscle cars,
they're straight up really trying hard to be GTA-like with this map.
Look out for loot, high-value loot.
Can't wait to hit a blade of grass and blow up from their car physics.
And that's going to mark every single supply drop and supply stash that's currently active in the level. And we've taken a lot of the high-value loot, level 3 armor, trauma kit, tactical weapons, operator weapons, gold weapons, and those are only going to be found.
It just doesn't feel like they're making a Call of Duty game. It literally tries to feel like they're doing a cash grab at all the hit games. GTA 5, Battlefield Hardline, which was weird.
In playtesting,
it doesn't feel like you're doing COD.
The laughs, the chuckles that we've heard most is when you're chasing each other around. So the police vehicles are
who the
on
fuck
the
is
hot pursuit
laughing?
of the muscle cars, who are then looking for the loot.
You know what I'm going to do?
Kind of
Run around with a damn rocket launcher, just blow everybody up.
So if you have a teammate alive at the next collapse, you're going to be able to redeploy. With this, we kind of looked at that. We saw it can be tough to drop
ripping off
into
Apex.
the last circle with a strife pistol. So we're going to try what we're calling escalating loadouts, and those loadouts will escalate per circle.
Gun game in Blackout.
So
Unique.
you may start out with a strife and some ammo.
Sure.
And if you get the chance to drop in the final collapse, you may get a little bit better of a loadout. So that's going to be
Paladin fully
dropping
loaded
in with an SMG, maybe some armor. Just because we know it can be more difficult in those final minutes to really compete with
Call of Speed Black Ops 4. Oh no, the chat. Look at that.
We've been having a blast.
It throws the roles of a Blackout kind of experience and turns them inside out, where you're getting more stronger the longer you go.
It's almost like you're not making Battle Royale, right?
Diversion from the core.
Even though that's what you're trying to do is rip off Battle Royale.
You mentioned down but not out, and it seems like between what the team has been doing in Operation 2. What's planned with Hot Pursuit? Seems like new game modes are an opportunity to kind of play in new and inventive ways.
Yeah, I think what you'll see, sort of operation. Every operation has kind of a core theme to it. This one, Operation Grand Heist. You have cops and robbers, so you see a lot of cops and robbers related activity across.
In other words, trying to get away from COD again. They failed to make a game that wasn't COD. Activision laid into them. They were forced to make this game more COD-like, and now they're just still trying to get away from being COD.
Kind of the first couple days of the operation. There's some other activities around there, hardcore, and some other thoughts that were going on. So we're going to keep the pure game mode evolving, right? The pure base, battle royale experience that people know. But we're also constantly trying to put the feature playlist in, the feature playlist that you've seen. So it's not just about
people not moving now because you fucked armor instead of just listening to what we said we needed to happen.
All the things that you sort of create along the way and the combinations of them. So as we build up this library, like Matt said, we actually get to take some of the rules from one and apply them to the other, and then everything kind of just gets faster and better as a result of the continued involvement and progress that we're making to allow different types of game modes to be played inside of the Blackout map. One day, who knows?
You really want to do something to make people happy in the Blackout map? Just spawn in a shit ton of zombies, change the atmosphere to evil, and let people have their fun in an open world zombies map. Jesus Christ.
I'm sure
they can loot, get ammo, and as they play.
Updates in terms of quality of life. You guys have been busy on that front as well.
So nothing is more important to fans than the quality of life improvements, at least when they hit me up directly. So there's a couple things that are going to make it in right off the bat, and more still in the way. So the three that are probably worth kind of mentioning right off the bat is, if you remember the new the stash UI, what we call the supply stash or the death stash UI. When there's an item in the stash, it only shows up once. It doesn't show up like a frag, a frag, a frag. It shows a frag with 3 pips on it.
It's already been like that.
So that idea has been carried over to the quick equip menu. So when you're pressing up on the D-pad to kind of select something quickly, you don't have to burn the space of it 3 times. You only have to burn the space of it once. That just makes everything a little bit faster. So that idea has now evolved into the quick equip working the same way. That's one. The one that I think fans will be super excited about is when you go to get a gun, you can strip the attachments off that gun immediately and then put them on the gun that you have. So that's a big change. So if you got a tactical, for example, on the ground,
good job.
Which of us does not strip the tactical to put all that stuff on the gun that we're using? We pretty much all do that. So now you can just do that. And
yeah, thank you, Apex, for putting that feature out.
We'll just kind of drop to the ground.
Jackass.
That's a big
Took
change.
you.
Nice.
And then the other one that I like,
that originally, even though we were asking for that.
Equip something when you pick it up immediately for both equipment and for health items. So if there's a big med kit on the ground of some type, or maybe an axe, you can just grab it and it's in your inventory, so you can throw it and grab it and throw it and grab it. Right? You don't have to grab it.
Good for clearing zombies because Tomahawk one-hit kills.
All that's now one action. So those three things are the sort of the significant ones that players will be able to feel kind of.
Literally took a new game coming out and shitting all over your life for you to give us what we
wanted. We're still
wanted.
experimenting with in the quick equip for potentially downstream in the season.
And along with that, there are some tuning updates that you guys have planned as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like MP,
look how sweaty and
big list of tuning updates.
He is
weapon balance
fucking
changes,
worried
based off of data, based off of feedback.
He's turning redder. He's getting shinier. He is
the ABR.
He's stressed the fuck out. He should
a great
be.
Weapon in blackout. We definitely saw its popularity rise a bit with our previous armor tuning. So that one's gonna get a little bit of a change. I believe on that one we've
undo armor nerf, remove level 3. Not hard.
And we've increased the delay between bursts just a touch again. So we don't want to swing too hard. I think we did that with the SDM. Sometimes we can look at the data and you get a lot of feedback and
you say he's sick, but how he's doing all these motions and he can't stay still. That's not sick. That's worry.
Look at the data, and I think everybody's gonna. It's not. I wouldn't say
he's also gained weight,
but some of those weapons that you have been carrying, you may want to look at something else. For example, light machine guns.
Yeah, he's stressed the fuck out.
That's a big change for us. It is a small change.
Yeah, but why?
Yeah, he's stressed the fuck out. He's nervous.
So you kind of look at that journey. So over the past 2 weeks, we've got a lot of feedback about everybody's driving ATVs, running people over. We don't want that to happen. Vehicles are for traversing the map. We don't want them to be primarily used as offensive weapons.
What if that's all I have? That's all I got going for me, man.
No, you can still try. But
then you should play Hot Pursuit. No, but that said, it's still a part of blackout. Yeah. You can still get ran over.
So what are you doing with the LMG?
So with LMGs,
damn, Kyoko!
You know what? We don't want these to be laser weapons. We don't want everybody to be rolling around with LMGs. What can we do with them to give them a unique benefit? So they're actually.
You really want to know what you could do to LMGs? Just reduce the visual kick.
A Titan and
that's the biggest issue with them.
Today, 40 bullets to take out an ATV or a helicopter. It's going to come down to 20.
Also fix mesh mines. They don't work now.
And those Titans that
they're broken as shit.
You may want to pick up one of those and keep it handy.
You want to. I mean, the meta changes over time, right? So
not really.
We think it's still important that there are fast-moving vehicles in the map. That's what the ATV is for. The ATV is not necessarily supposed to be used predominantly
until you hit a blade of grass and blows up,
ambush,
or it doesn't show you how damaged it is and you get one-shotted.
Behavior come out. It's not unexpected in a mode like that, but then that becomes sort of the part of the new meta, and that's the fun thing about working on Blackout is the meta is changing all the time. What was super viable yesterday was not.
It stays the same until you fuck something, and then it changes. I.e., armor. People used to move around. You made it worse. People don't move. That's your forced change.
Now an LMG, which most of us would probably pass over most of the time if you look at the data, if you look at how we play, you look at how you play. But now you hold an LMG as a secondary, and it's
Why would I hold an LMG as a secondary? I can use a fucking rocket launcher.
On par or better than a ballistic shield as a primary equipment. On par or better than mesh mines as an anti-vehicle device. Now there's like 4 different ways, alternative, and the LMGs are good because once you start using LMGs to blow up vehicles, you're going to start using LMGs to blow up people.
Or we just don't play solos and we can team blow up vehicles. Or we can stick it with a cluster. Or we can hit it with a mesh mine.
And look at something else, in the next season as the meta evolves and changes. And that's what makes it fun. Makes it complicated to keep up with the pace of it, for sure. Make no mistake, we know this better than anybody.
Then give us
but
Blitz.
We're not done trying, and this is one way. Just removing the ATVs is not a solution. Their start speeds, potentially other things that we've looked at.
Or just make it where they can't damage players.
I'm not saying so. I'm not sure that's the right thing to do.
Players can't walk through bushes, but if you're on an ATV, you can go through a bush. You have the ability to do that.
Interesting ways to solve those problems, not just the really obvious way, which is to delete everything, right? Delete everything, you have nothing left.
Yep. And then
delete everything, you have nothing left. Yeah, delete all the bullshit you've added into the Black Ops 4. You might have a decent
they'll be
COD.
Slightly less frustrating to use against infantry. So yeah, I think I'll be picking up a Titan over.
T minus 1 day until you tell me they're overpowered. 1 day.
Yeah.
1 day.
We'll fix it. We'll fix it.
You guys are like the best guests ever. Like I just, I mean, wind you up, let you go.
Tell me when to stop.
This is.
Do it.
Bullshit.
No.
I did that for the tweet earlier. All right, let's move on.
All right.
I got one more on
What?
tuning. One more on tuning, because it's a big one, and I'm sure we'll get a lot of feedback. Hopefully, all positive.
Armor.
Hopefully.
Armor.
Undoubtedly.
We gotta talk about armor.
We've touched armor a few times.
Duh.
It's a
Fuck
armor's a
off.
new thing for us. Levels of armor, blackout's a new thing for us. So we're still trying to dial that in.
What would you do, Matt?
Well, for this title update,
Come on.
we took a look at the data from where we were before our last
Get it
meeting
out.
to our oh my god, level 1 is paper now. I hear you. I hear you.
Level 1 is paper.
And you know what? Level 1, looking at the data, the curves of our graph of where people
They're
were
not
dying
touching level 3, are they?
previous to the patch to after, you weren't entirely wrong. So we are.
Undo
We are gonna
nerf.
bring up
Remove
one
level
and
3.
2. So level 1's going to get a slight bump. Level 2 is actually going to come up to where level 3 is now, as far as damage mitigation.
Damage mitigation, not durability. Don't confuse the two.
Right. So we flattened.
So many people tweeting me.
We
angrily
flattened
right
the
now.
armor levels.
Thank you.
But now level 3 still has the inherent mitigation of headshot damage. We've also brought back the armor plates to repair for level 3 armor back down to 5. Now that those are all a little bit more aligned. So
Talk about the shot differential, though, because in the abstract,
I didn't think they could fuck it up anymore. Honestly, didn't think they could fuck it up anymore.
Before we made our tuning changes, I believe it was 5 shots with an ICR against an unarmored enemy. Still the same. And then it kind of went up from 6 to 8 to 10. So we're slowly flattening that down a bit. And when you just look at that on paper, it doesn't seem like a huge change. But depending on the range and if you're using a very
They never fail.
low-powered
Trek never
SMG,
fails to
it
surprise
can,
you with their level of
those
fuckery.
hits to kill can jump a bit. So
Oh,
we're just trying to dial
God.
those in. And I think this pass we've all been super happy with internally.
Yeah, and nobody's happy externally. Congratulations, you're a dumbass.
All right, David, I believe that you guys have brought a build with us.
Oh, God.
And you wanted to jump into some of the new locations.
This is doing it live. I mean, everybody else.
Are you sufficiently pumped?
I don't know.
Is that
I'm
what-
steaming? There's steam coming off of me. All right, so what we're gonna do is try this in real time. So, yeah, we had one of those fancy fly-through videos like MP had, and them slickly produced zombie videos. But no, we're gonna try it the hard way because we're doing it live. So, I want to show you this stuff because it's just sort of easier to talk about than watching a video. So, can we put this up on the screen and show everybody? That's good. So, what you guys are staring at in real time is Ghost Town. Ghost Town is the primary new destination
that looks
we've been
bad.
talking about.
The graphics
Ghost
are not
Town
even
is
the textures aren't
combination
loading.
Of standoff or outlaw, depending on which version you like more from which game. Add it to the blackout map. So let me just show you where this is kind of in context. So I'm down here, right down here in the southeast corner of the map. Is that right? Yeah. So a significant new destination. And so just give you a sense of scale here. If you ever played Buried from Zombies, then you kind of know what you're staring at here. So the mansion on this side, and then all the town. Let me drop to the ground real quick.
It
and
looks
try to run
so
over
bad.
just quickly, then I'll fly back out and show you some other things.
And they're
All
on
this
a
stuff is
developer
playable.
unit,
So
which
all
should
this
be on a
kind of interior
PC.
space has all the loot that you'd expect of kind of a primary destination, has all the kinds of tricks and traps and backsides and flow-throughs and all the things that you would know. And this is all covered up, so you're not going to have anybody dropping on you. The downside of it being underground is that you can't actually just sort of escape through the top. There's no clear way to get
people are
back
gonna be
through
camping
there.
the
So you
hole.
have to use one of the many ways to get out, which means the chokes, when you're trying to get in and out of a destination like
It
this,
doesn't
can be
matter
pretty
if there's
severe.
more
only
new
sort of three
locations if they
primary
play
ways in
like
and out,
ass,
which means your
right?
entrances are not the same thing.
Can
as
you
your
imagine one of the
exits,
final
and you
circles
cannot
ending
just
under
sort of
here
surface jump from
and the amount of
top something
explosions
and
being
make a
thrown
run
around,
for
like
it in
just
any sort of
chuckables?
direction. So
Like,
this is
cool.
kind of
I like new
what-
locations. And I like the fact that they're
good.
adding
Can't
stuff,
get the
but
dev GUI there.
how it plays
Yeah, I need some help.
is
right
what
now.
matters
Yeah,
most.
thank you. I don't know why the no clip's not working. Amateur hour up in here. So
I have no idea
you
why
got
no clip's
Outlaw,
not working.
You got
It's just because your
standoff
whole
on
thing
this
is
side of the
broken.
map, and then the way down into the buried section of Ghost Town is through the jail cell of Outlaw. So you're gonna have a lot of fun. This one is particularly my favorite. It's like a one-way kind of slide down this mine shaft, which can be pretty entertaining and choky. So this is a significant destination.
Trip mines
Just to put this in
ahoy.
perspective,
It's a camping
if you look
area.
At the playable space and the amount of interior room and the number of places that things can go, you're talking construction
Essentially, yeah,
site
Ro.
level,
Unless the circle is ending
spawning
in that
of
area.
items here.
That
So
could
this'll
be the case as well.
A pretty fun and pretty insane destination that provides a particularly new experience into the Blackout map.
Will it
Now,
provide a new experience?
Just before we stop on that, there's another thing to talk about. This is not the only thing that we did. So I'm going to show you 3 examples of stuff. So there's things that we've done inside the Blackout map, which we would call completely new.
Expansion
so there's this
areas.
entire
Which they just copy
kinda
and
camp
pasted.
section behind where the dam is.
It
and where the
literally
offices
just
are. So if
made
you look
one
at where
house
I am
and
in
went,
the map
copy,
up here,
paste,
there's
copy,
Hydro.
paste, copy,
This is a
paste,
very
copy,
popular
paste.
drop for myself and Davey in the Bridge Ambush community. Shout out, boys. I'll see you
They
tonight.
were all the same
You
White
got
House.
This thing right here, which is where this is. So now you've got pressure on Hydro, not just from the guys
Copying,
who dropped short on
pasting
offices,
took 4
or the guys coming up
months.
from Asylum, but also this whole thing, which is now pretty viable. It's like a decent, viably suitable place to drop. If you're going to be less looted, but then you're going to put pressure on the guys to come in. So that's what we call new, and there's more than one of those. The other one is down here. This is another example of something inside the map that's completely new. But that's not sort of the totality of that story either. Let me go over, find my way here. This is what doing it live looks like, guys. I'm going to come over here and drop what we would probably call, or what you would call, apartments or condos.
6s.
Remember, this section of the map here is typically
Now it's 7,
has been
8s.
6 buildings, what we called the 6-pack. Or
Now it's
actually,
the
that was
8s.
a term I think you guys picked up, 6-pack, and then we now have it as an 8-pack. So now this is even more viable as a potential.
And all they did
drop,
was
even
copy
in
and
the
paste
park
2 of the buildings
so you get some
over.
pretty fun activity, sort of guys fighting across the street from one another or house to house. Now there's 8 buildings. So again, you're not going to walk out of here completely looted
This
up.
literally
Squad
took
game,
4
but
months
you're
for them to
definitely
just
walking out of
copy and
here
paste
in a
units
duo
over.
game and a solo game, super looted up. So that's what we would call expanded.
4
So you have
months
new,
for copying
which are
pasting.
destinations which didn't exist, sort of secondary and supporting structures, and you have these which are expanded, and there's lots of these. I want to show you one more because Fine Range fans will be thrilled to death or very, 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 very unhappy with me. So here's another one that's gotten expanded. Look how close this is to firing.
It's literally
so
no
if you get
new
firing range and you
stuff.
cleared it all out and you think you're done,
It's
maybe,
just
maybe
the
not, 'cause
same
you're gonna
buildings
have
being
this
copied and
destination which has
pasted.
been
Like, I don't understand why
putting
this took 4
pressure on
months.
you
This
coming
is
down from the hill here.
like
And
cool.
this
We
is
have more
an
places to
absolutely tough
loot,
fight. It's
change
tough
stuff to
enough
map
as
flow
it
and
is.
everything. But the thing is, why did it take 4 months to copy and paste
We
shit?
like these kind of destinations which are close to, they're not as large as or significant as, but they're also adjacent to, and that puts interesting pressure on players. One last one to talk about, sort of, and that's, more macro.
I thought we were getting like. I see we got a little bit of bird, we got a little bit of standoff. Cool. It's on the edge of the map. It might still get swallowed off the bat.
Just sort of expanded.
Fine, I like that. But like the image we saw, it was like Alcatraz out behind construction. There was the map we got. The whole thing was like 20%.
It stresses me out.
This is like a
So
5%
with
change
these
to
new
the map.
Structures in my leisurely jaunt from place to place, destination to destination, I have more places to kind of explore and look at.
What's
Ooh, what's that? What is that?
What's that? What is this?
That's a. That's a dope muscle.
It's time to wager on, to wager. Oh no.
So as you're driving around, some of these areas that you're pointing out, like these are things that have been sort of coming into existence. It's not like they just.
And it sounds like a
nowhere, right?
audio adjusted
We started
ARAF
seeding
too.
out, kind of the survey stakes as an example.
Yeah.
Where these things might be going, and with the high degree.
The level of cringe is just.
What is that, David?
What's that? What's that?
Texture on that looks.
Whoa.
So, it looks
No,
like they pulled that
you
vehicle
didn't,
right out of.
Matt.
Did the window just roll down? That's about as innovatively new thing they're going to introduce to this thing. Is the window rolling down on the vehicle when you get
What have
in?
you done?
No, you can turn those off.
What have you
with the-
done? What have you
can-
done?
You can turn those off. You lose the sensor dart functionality.
Why would you turn them off?
Well, if you want to be a little bit.
Or you could just
stealthier,
put a sensor dart on it and not have
go
the
for
sirens
a cold
going.
Pursuit.
I'm done.
I don't know.
I think I've outlived my usefulness on this one.
No, you did that 3 years ago there, Vaughn.
All right.
I'm never gonna hear the end of this one.
All right. So is there anything else in the
That
blackout front that
bulge.
you want
That's
to
not
cover
a
here today?
forgiving camera
Is there
angle.
anything in the blackout front that you want us to cover today?
No, I
Refer
see
to
what
your
you
note
just
cards.
did.
From
there.
one fat guy to
No,
another.
I mean, we covered it all. I mean,
There's a lot there.
I need to send him some soups.
Like Vaughn said, we could sit and talk for hours about the changes that players are going to see tomorrow. that they're going to see, you know, a week after that, a week after that.
Yeah, Tony talked about it a little bit.
The comment.
I want to reinforce this stuff. The season, the operation, excuse me, is not tomorrow. It is not Thursday. It is not Friday. It is tomorrow and Thursday and Friday and the entire time. And we put the roadmap up.
In other words, they haven't done properly
website,
quality
Start.com.
testing, and they need a little bit more
I
time
linked it
to
earlier
test
so
and
that
make sure
people can
shit's
just
not
have a
broken
direct
before they
link
push
that
it to
thing
us.
While you guys were talking about it, it's just really important that you understand that this stuff is seasoned and plotted out over the course of time. It is designed to give you things kind of on a schedule that's predictable, and it's absolutely and 100%, and you're absolutely right, on us to do a better job communicating how that works.
We had this in Modern Warfare 3. You trying to bring that up now is inexcusable. You fucked for 4 months.
Coming with the developer update, which
you haven't given us
now,
worth
I
of
think,
shit in
and
4 months.
We're going to do a much better job. We're going to get on camera a lot more and talk through these things so you guys can understand them more than the bullet point inside the Reddit post. That's just one of the things.
Yeah, by the way, if you're ever looking for the update, go to
absolutely
the Reddit post.
All right.
Did we make it through?
I think we made it through. All right, before we head out today, just wanted to offer a few thank yous. First, thank you to our guests who worked really hard to get here today. Also want to thank the comms crew, Tommy, Ben, Stephanie, Foxy,
4
and
months,
Jay
guys.
Prayer,
We're 4
Robert
months
Sanchez,
in.
Lee Staples, and Rose Villasenor. Want to thank
Zombies,
all you guys.
people are they're the ones coming out well ahead of this. Multiplayer, not much different. You get 2 maps that are locked behind a season pass.
Justin McFarland.
And then Blackout, you're getting maybe a 3 to 5% map modification.
Kelvin, Kyle, and Allie, thank you for
That's all you're getting.
To get all those
in other words, in the grand scheme of things, this huge overhaul we thought we were getting is not an actual huge overhaul. It's
I don't know who else could possibly be left. I'm sure I'll be hearing about that later. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us today.
No,
Appreciate
speaking
it.
of a no
Thank you for tuning
specialist,
in,
or speaking of VSATs and streaks,
tomorrow,
they're
Operation
ignoring
3,
it.
Grand Heist.
Yeah. All right, well, that was the live stream. So what did y'all think? Out of all that stuff, like, were you expecting more or less, or not? Like, I was expecting a little bit more than, you know, buried in Nuketown and then 2 locations, having a copy and paste, multiplayer. For those people without the season pass, you're not getting anything different, except for a new specialist, and they're doing weapon tuning. Not because, you know, multiplayer people, casuals, want weapon tuning, but a good bit of it is for the competitive custom match scene. So, really, I think zombies are coming on the lead. They're not getting a map at the beginning of this DLC event, but they're getting a map in March, and then they just got confirmed that the next 2 maps after that are going to be the Aether storyline, which is good because that's the only story I care about. I really don't care about the whole chaos thing. You're getting buried and standoff in a section of the map that ain't much. You're getting a small area behind a hydro, and then you're getting 2 extra houses at the 6s. Now it's going to be the 8s. So in the grand scheme of things, not anything really different. So, yeah. After 4 months of Blackout being out, we had the Von Voyage come in, and then we're getting, you know, 1 chunk change and then 2 location changed after 4 months of the game being out. Yeah. So, if you were hoping for a lot or an overhaul of this, we're not getting it. Any updates on servers being upgraded? No, they didn't mention. The only quality of life changes they mentioned in Blackout was they're going to start stacking the quick equip bars instead of having to go left. So like you have med kit, bandages, med kit, trauma kit, it'll just stack all the same, supposedly. And now that Apex put the pressure on them and everybody saying that they love the feature of automatically switching all their attachments, they're finally going to give that to us, even though we've been asking for that essentially since the demo. They're going to give it to us now that, you know, people are quitting their game. And then, what was the other thing? Yeah, they're completely fucking armor again, so I hope you enjoy that. Yay! So. And level 3 is essentially back to normal. Level 2 is going to be even stronger. In other words, they just undid the armor nerf. But we still have to deal with the bullshit of level 3. My biggest issue with level 3 armor is that the headshot protection. If I shoot somebody in the head with a sniper, I want them to go down and die. That's not the case with level 3, but level 2 is supposed to reduce as much damage now as level 3. So if you have shit luck and only come across level 1, or now I guess if you have level 1 versus level 2, you're fucked. Or level 1 versus level 3, you're fucked. Even if the level 3 and level 2 guys are potatoes, that's not gonna be fun. That's not gonna be fun at all. Level 3 armor should not be in the game. It only helps shitty players. It might be a treat for you to find, but it's a stupid fucking idea. At least in PUBG, you have level 3 helmet, level 3 vest. They're split. You have to find both if you want double the protection. I would be fine if level 3 armor was just chest. But the fact that it protects your head as well with one unit, bullshit. It shouldn't be in the game. And we're going to get to see how this plays out. So I was hoping for more with this stream, chat. At the very least, I was hoping for a no specialist mosh pit. I was hoping for a legit overhaul of the armor system. But instead, we get an undo of the change, and we're not getting much. And I had the chat up, at least on the YouTube side. I don't know if they were streaming on Twitch, but I had the YouTube side up, so y'all can watch back through to have a log of the chat. So, yeah. I'll be back in by, like, an hour and stream some multiplayer and blackout before we have the massive update happen so that people can get, feeling. Now, I'm glad prestiges are coming to blackout, but I'm also irritated that I can't use all the merits. At least, as of right now, I can't use all the merits that I have gained up from being level 80 since October. Because in theory, I could be like 8th prestige right now. I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and take a wild guess that you can't. So, yep. Yep. So, I'm going to end this, go do something right quick, and I'll be back in a bit. Peace.